you're supposed to get closer. Why aren't you closer? Don't lean in. That's
well,
clear.
that's as close as I can get then.
Okay, but that's okay.
You're sitting up on a cushion anyway, so you look tall.
Okay, so we're going to talk about how we decided that it'd be fun to go to Green Lake and rent a canoe for the day. So it costs $35 to do that. Thought that it would be an amazing idea, was super excited about it, couldn't wait to go and take my son with us. And when we got there, it was a little confusing because the guy was gone, but luckily he had showed up soon after we got there and got out on the water. And it was a gorgeous day. We thought we had plenty of food and plenty of drink. I have been out on Green Lake as a child, but it was a pretty good sized boat, so I got to see everything fairly quickly. But I got out and decided I wanted to keep going and kind of explore. And we did a little bit of fishing while the wind blew us.
She caught some huge sunfish. They were like 3 inches long, I swear.
Yeah. So, I was the only one that caught a fish that day, which that sucked that we didn't get anything else, but we got to the other end of the lake, and it's not a very big lake.
It's a long lake.
Yeah,
it's not very wide,
long.
but it's very long.
Yes.
And we drifted all the way down to the other end.
So then when we got down to the other end, which didn't take us too long, it didn't seem like it, and we were having fun too, so you tend to lose track of time, which we didn't even have a watch. But we got down to the other end, and it was just gorgeous. The wind was blowing a little bit, so it kept us nice and cool, and because he's so big, he had been sitting for I think a couple hours at that point and was like, I've got to get out of the boat and I've got to get out of it now.
Yeah, my legs were cramping up. I had to get up and move around. We had probably been out, it was about 85 to 90 degrees that day, full sun.
Full sun, very windy.
And I didn't hydrate as much as I should have. And so I was getting dehydrated, I was getting sunstroke, and I needed to get up and move around. And by the time we were able to find a place where we could put ashore, my shoulders were cramping, my legs were cramping. I got out of the boat, I tried to cool myself down, and I threw up all over. I got really, really sick. It was not pleasant. It was a very unpleasant scene. Threw up a bunch of cherries and the sandwich that I had eaten and all the water that I had taken in, so I got even more dehydrated. Yeah, that was kind of bad, and we still weren't even halfway back to where we needed to bring the boat yet.
No, because we needed to get to shore in the closest place without bothering anybody out on the lake. We were on one side and we needed to get to the other. So when we get over there, I wasn't throwing up at that point, but fortunately there was a tree that kind of leaned out and over the water, so he was able to lean up against that and stretch his legs, and then ended up having to go to the bathroom. Oh well. But he had a rest and he felt a little bit better, so decided to get back in the boat. And I thought it would be a good idea for him to sit up front because you have less leg room, but the seat is actually bigger.
So you have a little more mobility. Part of the reason my legs were cramping up is because you either get to stretch your legs out or you have to sit with them tucked right up underneath you in the back of the boat. And having my legs tucked up underneath me with my knees pulled together, my hips were cramping up, and it was impossible to sit like that. So we switched positions, and she sat in the back and I sat in the front.
Which was, thank God, because as soon as we got back in the boat, he started to throw up, and I was paddling in the back. Well, he kept falling asleep.
I wasn't falling asleep. I suffer from severe anemia. My liver doesn't produce enough blood cells. I'm iron deficient, and I'm severely anemic. So when I get dehydrated and when I get sunstroke, I start to tend to pass out, and I was very in and out of consciousness. And unfortunately, when a big guy like me, I weigh 256 right now, is in a canoe and he starts to lean to one side or another, and it gets a little scary for everyone else in the boat.
Yeah, so this is what I had to deal with. I needed to get us back to shore, which was on the other side of the lake, and started getting exhausted fairly quickly. We had my son, which he couldn't really do a whole heck of a lot. He did it first, but then his arms got tired and he was just kind of paddling the water, following the water. So I pretty much had to do most of it myself to get us three back to shore. And I'm telling you, there were a few people that were out on the water, but they were going really fast, and I was more concerned about them dumping us over at that point, because
there
the
were
boats,
a lot of people making big wakes.
Yeah, the boats were going way too fast, way too close to us, and I was more concerned about getting the canoe the same direction and turned around at that point, because you have to go into the wakes, not on the side.
Yeah,
and
if you take the wake on the side, you'll roll.
So he's what looked to me like, he says he was passing out, but he looked like he was falling asleep, and I had to keep screaming at him the whole time, because I would wait and he would kind of go like this and then start to lean and fall over to one side, and the whole canoe is leaning to the side. And I'm screaming at him to wake him up, and my son is like, "Mom, just leave him alone." And I'm like, "Tyler, I can't, because if he falls into the water, we're all going in together." And one of the things that Michael was concerned about was that if he did pass out and fall in the water, then how would I get him out? But I'm telling you, he would have woke up as soon as he had that water. So I wasn't too worried about that, but I was definitely worried about getting back to shore. So even, I think it's been over a week now, and I went secondhand shopping with my grandmother. I didn't get much, but immediately noticed my arms were killing me still. So, and my back is already fucked up, but it definitely did not help my back. So when we got back, we were almost to shore, and I was like, I am never doing this again. I'm never doing it. I thought, it'd be nice to be able to get some exercise, and how lazy that would be if we were to rent a boat, because then, we'd be motorboating around the lake and not needing a paddle, which is okay, but I just thought, it'd be funner to be able to take the canoe. I was totally wrong.
It turned into an ordeal.
It turned into a nightmare.
Yeah,
because
it was a bad rest of the afternoon. We both got heat stroke. We both got really bad sunburns.
I really don't know if you can actually see in the video right now. My bottom lip is about 50% of the skin on the bottom of my lip is burnt.
Yeah, she got blisters on it.
And it's been over a week, and the skin is falling off.
I'm lucky. I've got Native American in me, so even when I burn, I don't blister and
Yeah,
peel.
don't listen to him because he says that he has Indian in him, but yet he got the worst burn that day.
I didn't blister and I didn't peel.
That has to do with you having a lot of Indian in you, but it has nothing to do with the fact that it didn't save you from getting heat stroke.
No, I didn't say that. I said it saved me from blistering and burning.
But he did burn, and he was absolutely miserable because of it.
For one whole night.
Yeah, well, it
Two.
was a couple of nights, and he was sick.
I was sick.
Passing out in his chair at home. At least it was at home, whatever. I didn't care at that point. I knew he needed the rest. He didn't sleep well at night because of the sunburn. And it's fairly cool at his house, but it had to have been miserable. So we learned our lesson. Next time, if we do go, we are definitely renting a boat.
Motorboat.
It's gonna be 65.
Yeah.
And definitely be able to see more of the lake quicker,
Get more fishing in.
hopefully. But, I just wanted to talk about that because it's important for people to realize, on my end, how hard it is to deal with somebody as ill and sick as he gets most of the time. And this is...
Poor her. Poor her. I'm so sick. Poor her.
It's very frustrating.
It's
on
easy
my
for me.
end.
It's easy for me to deal with liver disease.
And I'm not saying that,
Poor
honey,
her.
but I try to get out of the house and I try to get exercise, and I really really feel bad about having to leave him home. That hurts.
I'm very. It's better for her to leave me home than for her to try to have me go with her, because I can start out strong, but I have no stamina and I don't regain energy easily. So after about 10 or 20 minutes, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm just absolutely useless. I can walk at a good clip for about an hour. But if it's anything more strenuous than a really fast walk, I'm done. I'm over with, And when you add heat and humidity to that, and my ignorance with not hydrating like I should, I'm useless a lot when it comes to being outside and doing very active and having a very active lifestyle. I'm too sick to be able to do that. And I feel bad because she is trying to get healthier, and she's messing with the camera right now.
Sorry.
Screwing everything up. So I would rather have her go out and do things on her own and actually be able to expend a bunch of energy and get a good workout in than to have to wait around for me and only do, half-assed and not work as hard as she's able to.
But it makes me miserable because I don't like to leave him behind. So it's hard.
As much of a pain in the ass as I am, she likes to spend time with me.
Yep, I love you.
I love you too, baby. Uh-oh, she's gonna cry.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna say goodbye. before
Remember
I
to
get
like
there.
and subscribe.
Yes, please. And if you have any comments, please leave them below. Any questions, please leave them below.
Peace.